If I can go back and do it all over again, here I am in my late 30s. And if I can go back and tell myself when I was 30, here's what I would tell myself. Well, one, I would tell myself to focus on your family because your job will go on. That'll be the first thing I would tell myself, man. Your dream is worth it. And the comfort of your job, it is. It's exactly what it is. It is a comfort. If God has placed something in your heart, just do it. So I mean, I just remember at that time I was so worried about work and so worried about taking care of my family, and so worried about just trying to provide. We were a single income household, and we still are today. And all the weight was on me. You know, at least it felt like it. Felt like it all was on me, and I needed God. And so I will be so focused on the family. But we did something that was extremely remarkable during that year. We actually during that year I actually tried out well, I was beginning was yeah I started to try for the Olympic team because I was looking for value, man. I started training for the karate Olympic team, and I hadn't did karate in a good bit, and my wife thought I was going through a midlife crisis, uh, and and what we did was something, what we did was something remarkable. It really was. It was remarkable. I tried out, and when I did that, so I started the karate journey, right? And so I can get it going here. It's not gonna be any. I started my karate journey, and I went for it, man. I tried out hard. I went. I pushed myself to the limit. I trained 6, 7 days a week, two to three times a day, even with my job. And I hadn't threw a kick in like 10 years, and but I went for it. I didn't make the team. I actually made it to nationals. Did a decent job. Um, but then again, didn't make the team. But I learned a lot about myself at that time. Yeah, we actually found out that we really like traveling, and what happened, we ended up buying an RV, and began to travel the country. You know, it was it was fun times. But what I found again is that focusing on my family was to be more important. And at that time, what happened, we I made the choice to jump. Right, I was on the way to getting promoted to higher corporate America. I was going to climb up the ladder, getting ready to get into my first round of my first level of management, and I was thrilled. Finally, going to make some more money. Did a decent job as a seller. Actually, that year I was annual achievers. I did a good job. Um, my wife was like, man, look, we always had this dream to travel. We got some money saved up. We got a business we're working on the side. Let's go for it. And I was like, man, I don't know. But this is when I found out how important it was to focus on the family. I chose my family over career. And I think the hardest thing that most people deal with, I mean, there are a lot of folks that I think one of the hardest things that I was dealing with was if I leave my job, where's my purpose, right? I won't have any more purpose. I won't have anybody else to pat me on the back when I do a good job. Um, it's that recognition, right? And also also the consistency of a paycheck, right? Let's being honest. That was real, you know. Um, we set out on a journey. We set out on a journey to build our YouTube channel. So what would I tell myself? Well, see if I can make this a little bigger for y'all. Build your YouTube channel. I didn't understand it at the time. Well, I did. I mean, I figured it was going to be a way to generate revenue, and didn't quite know how it was going to come together. Dang it! You can see that. Let's do it like this. We'll do it like that. Build your YouTube channel. I started to build. I had an idea of what that was going to do, right? But I didn't quite know how that was going to come together. And so we did. We sold everything. We bought an RV and we hit the road. We sold everything. We bought an RV and we hit the road. It was a fascinating time. It stretched me, man. It challenged me. What I didn't know, I didn't know I didn't know two cents about towing an RV or anything. Let me grab this. I didn't know 2 cents about starting a YouTube channel. Well, I mean, I guess I did. I've had a YouTube channel for a while. Went viral back in the day with an old school videos, but more like church comedy, right? We was having us and some kids just have. I mean, me and some other students, not students. We were all college kids. We did a joke. It was my first viral video, you know. It was hilarious, and but I knew there was something powerful there, right? I knew that there was something there with YouTube that can actually absolutely change our lives. So what I would tell myself when I was 30 is to keep building that channel, build a channel, work through those. Work through all the things I need to do to grow and to develop, to being a YouTuber and being a brand. Don't be afraid to learn something new, and that's what YouTube did. It stretched me. Social media stretched me to learn something new. Now, granted, at the same time, I love learning, and so I saw it as a vehicle to create another stream of revenue, and we went for it, you know. But I would tell myself to continue to build it, right? YouTube is going to start off slow, and then you strike a chord with your audience, and then it takes off, right? Then it takes off, and that's the power of YouTube. Then you create this brand that companies want to partner with, and when they do, they partner with you to and they'll pay you. You know, and what I found out, I was like, man, I would actually make a lot more money partnering with brands than I would in my own job, which was amazing. It was fascinating, and sometimes I think really we don't really fathom. I didn't really fathom the possibility of that until until we had a company reach out to us when we were traveling, and asked us to do a video for them, and to do really, it was a blog. It wasn't even a full on video. It was a blog. They sent a photographer out, and they captured us as we were in our RV doing our thing. How do we homeschool? We had questions. We did a whole little write up, and photographer came out and took pictures. We was in Florida, and 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 we got a check. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is real. And so what I found is that, man, with YouTube and creating influence online, you you can you can have your hobbies that you enjoy. You can have the hobbies that you enjoy, and actually make some money off of it. Actually make a revenue off of it. It's like if you were the kid who enjoyed like Tonka trucks, people thought you was like weird back in the day. But now, if you throw up a camera on your Tonka trucks and you just playing with them, fixing them, refurbishing them, whatever you want to do with them, Tonka mess around and sing you a whole bunch of stuff and pay you a lot more than you would make just working. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh my gosh, we were living our life. We were traveling, doing our thing, and just trying to share that with everyone. And a brand saw value in that and actually reached out to us. We were not trying to reach out to brands. The brand reached out to us, and it was the largest RV manufacturer, and they wanted to do a write up on us. And we were like, what? Is this real? And it's like, it's real. And fast forward, man, fast forward. I wish we would have just stuck with it to figure out how to make it come together, how to streamline it, how to streamline it. There's another word I'm looking for. It ain't coming to me, but I didn't know the power of it, and I wish I would have understood it a little better. But that's why I'm taking you on this journey now. This journey on this channel now is gonna show you how to build brands as I build them, as I make brand connections and brand deals, and as I teach others how to build a YouTube channel. I'm going to show you what I'm learning as I reverse engineer what I see some of these gurus doing. Reverse engineer it and make and grow it. That's what I've done, and I've grown two of our channels now. That's what you saw before is my family. That's our family channel, Thomas Family Life. This is my personal channel, where we focus on brand strategy, how to grow your brand, and and how to develop content. But really, I think really what it is, this is just me documenting my journey. It's me documenting my life, so that my kids come back and watch this video when they get in their 30s. They're gonna be encouraged to keep going, be encouraged to not stop, be encouraged to go to the next level. What's the next thing? The next thing I would tell myself in my 30s, being a YouTuber, it's not doing it. Show the bad stuff. If I could go back and do it all over again, we saw our channel hit a trajectory at that time. This is really not doing what I wanted to do. At least enough so you can see it, right? Let me see if I can. All right, well, dang it. No. Hold on. Trying to make this look all succinct here. Man, what happened? I get my numbered list. Let's try this again. Numbered list. There we go. So let me go back. I think what I'm gonna do is make this a little bigger so you can see it. There we go. Bam. That's what I should have did. Show the again. Show the bad stuff. So I want to show you this. So it's more about the journey than it is about anything else. And I think we were so concerned with how it's going to look, what people were going to think about us, um, what people were going to think about us. Honestly, it was really just it was really being it's really being vulnerable about failing. So we were traveling, and we were coming to the end, right? It was coming to the end of our traveling journey because we was out of money, right? The business that we had, we were selling online. We were selling FBA. We done retail arbitrage on Amazon, so we had that going. The YouTube hadn't really taken off by this time, right? I mean, so we're about a year into it. It ain't really taken off. We didn't have any kind of viral videos, anything like that. And we were trying, man. We was also having some challenges too, just trying to record and grow the business and have fun traveling, right? It was we were struggling. We was having some challenges doing that. And we didn't show all of that, right? And I think authenticity is probably the biggest thing that's missing on a lot of YouTube channels. But I think that would have really built our brand even more. So I would encourage you to stay honest about the process. Right, I'm in the process now. I'm in the process of growing this channel. We're in the process of changing the conversation on our family channel. Because there is a burning that's in our heart to do what God has called us to do, and we're going to document it. We're going to document it as a family, as a couple, and then I'm also going to document this business growing brand strategy side, and so that you can get over the hurdles that you might be having trying to grow a channel. If we've been there, I've learned hacks growing. But it's okay. The biggest thing I want to get across is that it's okay to share the struggles, to share the bad stuff. In that process, you will become who you are called to become. And really, what you're going to find out is that you're not the only one. And there are those who have walked through it. There's those who have been through that process before, and you just have to hang in there a little bit longer and get through that process as well. What's the next thing I would tell myself? You are too close to go back to comfort. You are too close to go back to comfort. There were so many times. I remember specifically 2 times. I remember God telling me to do real estate. This was in November. November. Oh man, it had to have been 2016. Remember God specifically saying November 2016, hey, you're gonna do real estate full time. And I said, okay, cool. Never sold a house, never did anything. Found out about real estate investing, jumped into real estate investing. 60 days later, we got $20,000 check for wholesaling a home. I said, wow, that's big. That's a bigger bonus than I ever had at work. and and man, we're running forward. We're running forward, right? We're doing our thing. And then midway, I say about March. It was about March of 2017, if I'm not mistaken. March 2017. My company had dissolved the entry level sales organization. And that was a month that God had told me that I was going to step out full time and do real estate. And I said, all right, I'm doing it. So in my mind, I was already prepared to put my 2 weeks in March. And so when March came up and we got the big call and they're dissolving our particular organization in the company, I was already mentally prepared because I was like, let's cool. God already told me this. And I was so shocked that God had prepared me literally almost 5 months prior. And this is why I harp on this, man. Whatever God told you to do and whatever He's telling you to do it now. Do it now. Do not wait. This is His unction. This is Him pushing you. This is Him leading and guiding you through your life. And if you be obedient to what He is telling you to do, He will guide you. And I promise you, man, He guided me through this. And so we closed the first deal. I'm excited. Boom, And then here's the deal. I didn't close another deal for like 8 months. So it's like August, and I'm like, I'm out of money. I'm out of money, right? I done spent all my money marketing. I got a severance from work, and I'm like, sweet, we're doing that. We launched a product on YouTube, on Amazon, trying to get some more revenue coming, and man, nothing. I mean, nothing. And so it gets to August, and we got no money, and I'm like, God, come on! I thought you told me. And by that time, I had a gentleman I connected with another gentleman who said, hey, he was going to hire me to do what I was already doing, trying to host on my own. I was going to be a buyer for him. And I'm like, praise God. So then I had a choice. I had a choice to either trust God and do this real estate, or I went back and applied back for my old company, and I had an opportunity to either go back to my old company. So it was either trust God or go back to comfort. And God was making it pretty clear to keep on trusting Him. He said, I didn't hear a call back from them, from my old company. So I'm thinking, that's it, man. But actually what happened is that I put the wrong number on my resume and the manager was trying to reach out to me, and it'd been almost like 2 weeks. He was like, dude, come on. So he emailed me, but really I had a choice to go back to comfort or to keep running by faith. And I went back to comfort, and God still provided, but there was a life that I could have built and could have went and grew, and God would just grew it, man, had I stayed that path with that other gentleman. So whatever God's calling you to do, I know if you're at that point where it's getting extremely tough and you're like, man, I'm running out of money, I don't know what I should do. Stick to the plan that He gave you. Stick to the call that He gave you. Stick to what God has placed deep in your heart, and that is what walking by faith is. That you are seeing what has not yet came to pass. It actually happened 2 times in my life, and I'll get to the second one on another day. Now, here's a real one. Now we go a little deeper. What else would I tell myself? Let God heal those deep wounds. Can I spell those deep wounds? So that you can hear your spouse and you can hear opportunities. There's no shortage of opportunities. I'm gonna come back to the opportunities part. And can I spell opportunities? Opportunities. There we go. The reason that there's doubt, the reason that there's fear, is because there are deep areas, those deep areas in my heart, in my soul, that fear success. Truly, what it was fear failing. The scariest thought that I had was to run out of money, and I was supposed to be the provider of my family. We're on the streets with no roof over our head. That's the scariest. That's the scariest thought that I had. And for some, that's a motivator, and they run and they say, "Man, this is not going to happen." And some will retract. And what I would do in some cases with certain fears, I would retract and just not really get paralyzed, but just sink down. It felt almost like a depressive state, but not quite. It was more just a shielding and just let the waves go over until this passes. But man, I got that I needed to reveal that to God. So I needed God to show me where that started, so that He can go down deep and heal those areas. And I had to be real with Him. I had to be real with God. I had to open up and repent for not trusting Him in those areas. And He took it a situation at a time, and revealed those areas in my heart that I needed to submit to Him, so He can heal them, so I could trust Him. And really, so I can have conversations with my wife when they got challenging, right? So I could stand in that heavy place, and then don't shut down, and didn't retract back to just let this blow over, right? I was able to stand in those tough conversations and break the crazy cycle of communication. That's on my relationship side. That's on me and my wife. On the other side, when it comes to business and comes to creating, taking care of the family, right? It was the same thing. That where I was inadequate at, I had to let God reveal those places in my heart, so I can yield, so I can repent and yield that to Him, so He can heal those areas, so that I can be all that He has called me to be. And what is that? That is what Paul talked about. That we work out our soul salvation with fear and trembling. That's what it is. It's the sanctifying process, the cleansing of the deep areas that cause us to not trust God. God had to come in and cleanse those areas, man. And when He did so, it made it easier to trust Him and to reject the temptation to not trust Him. So one of those areas was having kids. I didn't want to have more kids because I was like, God, I already don't have money to take care of them. And God was like, dude, you haven't had money this whole time, and I've always taken care of you. But I couldn't hear that until He healed those areas where I didn't trust Him. And then when He healed some of those areas that I didn't trust Him in, I was able to hear Him say that and trust Him in something new. I probably still spell that wrong. I just spell that wrong. I probably did. Y'all don't pay attention to my spelling. This will be the last thing. You are not failing. You are becoming. I read a quote from John Maxwell. It says, if you when you fall, because you will, on the process of growing and developing and becoming, you will fall. Just don't fall backwards. Fall face forward. That way, you always failing forward. And I think what happens a lot of times is that we go and we try something and we fail. We say, man, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. And then we go back to something else that we know works, right? That we feel like works. And God has called us to stay in the place of the unknown so that we can trust him, you know? And so you're not failing, you are becoming all that God has called you to be, whether that's in family, in relationship, or in business. You are failing, you are failing forward, and you're becoming as long as you are learning from how you're failing. Right. And so I would encourage you to learn in those failures, and you will be all that God has called you to be. So click that like button, click subscribe, and follow for more. Until next video, we'll see you.